First task of the day, complete, make the bed. Arguably one of the most trying tasks of the day, if you ask me, but it needs to be done. I don't know if I'm an avid believer of the whole make your bed and your day is going to be a lot easier sort of situation. I know Jordan Peterson goes on about conquering the day one step at a time, and the first step being making your bed if your life is in complete and utter chaos. And I think there's a bit of truth to it, but yeah, you've got to set the bar a little bit higher than that, I think. But yeah, first task done, time to get on with it. All right, so as you can probably tell from the hair and the look on my face, I didn't have the best sleep last night, but I'm still up. I slept in. It's 4:30. It's not 4 a.m. It's actually 4:30 now. So I slept in a bit, but I've made my bed and I'm cracking on with the day, and I will catch up in due time. I will. Let's have a look at sleep. I track my sleep. Let's see what it was like last night. Geez, okay, that explains why I feel so average. So I only got, according to this, just over 5 hours of sleep and about an hour of deep sleep. So that's pretty dismal if you ask me. Deep sleep wise, I mean, you want to be aiming for about 20% of your total sleep. So that's not too far off that mark. So about 15-20% of your total sleep in hours, you should be getting in deep sleep, in my opinion. And then, I mean, ideally more than 6 hours of sleep per night. But if you're getting less than 6 hours of sleep per night, you're obviously not going to meet your quota for deep sleep. But yeah, an hour of deep sleep and a total of 5 hours and 11 minutes of sleep. So it explains why I feel average. I might try squeeze a nap in later in the day if I can get a chance to do so. But we will crack on and I will play catch up. Actually, before I make coffee, I should probably unpack the dishwasher and clean the kitchen a little bit. Bottoms up. I actually look forward to this every morning. It's not really the caffeine that I look forward to though. And I mean, most coffee drinkers will probably be able to relate to me on this point. It's more the ritual that is associated with the drinking of the coffee. So like I guess the smell of the coffee, the warmth of it, and then just taking a moment to kind of sit down and consolidate your thoughts before you start your day. So that's what I look forward to the most about coffee, to be fair. I've been drinking coffee for a long time though. My dad made me my first coffee, I believe, when I was 5 years old. So yeah, it's been a while since I've been drinking coffee. A few years, it'll be 30 years of drinking coffee in a few years. But yeah, it's one of those things that's somewhat ritualistic. And I mean, if you look back at the role that coffee played in society too, I mean, it was always a very, I guess, ritualistic, or at the very least social activity. Like you wouldn't really just drink coffee for the caffeine hit, although that's what we do these days. It's more of I think a 21st century bastardization of drinking coffee, but I mean, if you trace it back to its origins, I haven't looked into it for a while. It's a little bit more in-depth than just simply getting a caffeine hit for the day. So yeah, I'll finish this. And Friday's a funny day. Michaela actually teaches Pilates in the morning, and so that's where she is right now. She's already left home to teach Pilates. So instead of going to the gym to do my cardio this morning, I'm going to walk around outside for about an hour. So an hour of walking up and downhill around the neighborhood. That's going to be my cardio for this morning. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to actually show this the other day. So Michaela got me a couple of birthday presents. She got me the Gasp clothing, but she also got me a Wolfpack fanny pack because she knows how much I love fanny packs. And so I've got a Wolfpack fanny pack, and she got me a, what are they called? I don't know what they're called. It's like a Velcro label. So it's a label with the Velcro attached to it, so you can kind of stick it to the bag, the Wolfpack bag. So a Coach, don't know what you call them, tag. I'm so uncultured when it comes to all of this fashion and stuff, but yeah, that's my other birthday present. So I was pretty grateful for that. That was thoughtful of her. So now I've got a official fanny pack to wear when I'm at shows with my athletes, not just some random fanny pack that I acquired from a previous bodybuilding show, but I've actually got a proper Wolfpack fanny pack. So yeah, I guess that means that my athletes are part of my Wolfpack. But yeah, I'll finish this and get the intra cardio shake ready and get a move on, because like I said, I'm already behind the 8 ball. I'm half an hour behind the 8 ball, so I definitely want to try catch up. And by the time Michaela gets back, shortly after that, I'll drop her off and then I'll head to the gym to train chest and back. So yeah. Now, thankfully, I only have to fold my pants, my shorts, my underwear, and my tank tops, because I actually hang all of my t-shirts up. That's one, I guess, habit that I inherited from my dad. My dad always did that growing up, so I followed suit. It's funny, now that I come to think of it, actually, I need to get rid of some clothes because I don't have enough hangers for all of my shirts. And funny enough, that's the disparity between women's logic and men's logic. I swear women think, oh, I haven't got enough hangers, I need to buy more hangers. Whereas a guy thinks, oh, I haven't got enough hangers, I need to get rid of some clothes. I have too many clothes. It's like two different schools of thought to solve the exact same problem, or two different solutions, I should say, to solve the exact same problem. So yeah, funny that now that I think about it. Growing up, I always used to hate folding washing. I wouldn't mind hanging it out. I wouldn't mind actually loading the washer up, or the washing machine, I should say, not the washer. Loading up the washing machine, putting the laundry on, hanging it out, that wasn't too much of an issue. But folding it just seemed like a task that I did not want to do. It seemed like a unfathomable chore. And I've had some people ask where I get my pants from. And I get most of my clothes from Target, unless if Michaela buys me nice Gasp clothing. I just wear the cheapest shit that I can find at Target, or Target, as some folk like to call it to make it sound fancy. Target. But yeah, I just wear basics. When it comes to the reason why they're so baggy. I always go up a couple of sizes for my pants because I don't like tight fitting pants. So pants wise, I will literally, quite literally, even though I am about an XL, I will buy 5XL pants and I will wear 5XL pants. I will just tighten up the drawstring. And that way you can get very comfortable, loose fitting, non-restrictive clothing. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. So yeah, the bigger you size up, the less restrictive it will feel. And I've always hated tight clothing. Aside from occasionally a tight shirt isn't the end of the world, but I have to really be in the mood to wear a tight shirt if I wear one. I don't like the way I look in tight shirts half of the time. Yeah, but to each their own. If that's what you like doing, I mean, who am I to judge, or who is anybody else to judge? Like, it really doesn't matter, to be fair. In the grand scheme of things, there's more important things to be concerned with when it comes to life. So I don't think it's overly important. As long as you're happy and as long as you're comfortable with what you're wearing, like, who gives a damn what anybody else thinks?
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the ND filter off today. But the true test of whether or not the quality of the footage is going to be acceptable will be when I transfer it onto the computer later on today to edit it. Because right now I'm just looking at it on a 2-inch LCD monitor on the actual camera, and it's not always a true representation of the footage quality. Let's just put it that way. So, couple of warm-up sets. I'm still not feeling that warm. I mean, one, because it's first thing in the morning and I haven't really had any food, and two, I have drank some water, but I haven't had that much water yet, and so still feeling a little bit dehydrated from the night. Let's just put it that way. But the show must go on. You still need to do the work, even if things feel average. I mean, it's not a justification to skip training. I think, especially in this technological age where we have all of these devices that track our blood pressure, our resting heart rate, our HRV, our sleep quality, all of these not useless metrics, but metrics that kind of just take up space and preoccupy our mind. I think it's really easy to get caught up in thinking, oh, I shouldn't train because my HRV has changed by X percentage, or my resting heart rate is 5 beats higher than it normally is. I should probably deload today and train hard the next day, or skip training today and rest and train tomorrow. But the reality is, the conditions are never going to be perfect. You're going to have shit days, no matter how proactive you are and how much you try to prepare and plan and avoid those shitty days and those shitty conditions. They're still going to come. And so you might as well just get used to, or I suppose better way of framing it would be, learn to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, every session isn't going to feel amazing, but every session needs to be done. So just do it. If you genuinely need a rest, like if you are feeling aches and pains, you are running on, say, 2 days consecutively of no sleep, then yeah, you probably should rest. You probably shouldn't train. But if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you got 1 or 2 hours less sleep, don't be a little pussy. Don't be a little bitch. Just go to the gym and train. Suck it up. Accept that it might feel a little bit average. Heck, you might even surprise yourself. You might hit a PR. I mean, some of the days that I've gone to the gym feeling the most average, I've actually come out the other end having hit some PRs. And even if you don't, it's the end of the world. Keep in mind that progress isn't linear. So progress isn't always going to be linear from session to session, week to week. Sometimes you might have a dip, and then the next week you come back and you hit a 2 rep PR on what you hit the fortnight prior. So it's never a case of it's all just smooth sailing. There's going to be choppy seas, or the saying goes, like, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. It's the same thing with life. Anything you can apply that to anything in life, lifting, school, work. There's going to be periods where the seas are a little bit choppier, and you're just going to have to navigate through it. So yeah. Anyway, let's do the first working set. Oh. You know what? I actually think I prefer this picture profile, personally at least. Interested to hear your thoughts though. Now that was not a good set at all. 5 reps. 2 less than last week, and I believe that was 1 less than the week prior to that, so I've regressed 2 weeks in a row. To me, that's an indicator that, well, 1, I had a terrible night's sleep, so that's just a given, right? But 2, I'm probably, regardless what the reason is, I'm probably exceeding my tolerable workload chest in a single session at the moment. So until I fix sleep, I might have to reduce volume. We'll just see how this set goes. Because that grip was also a little bit narrower than usual. So I'll go my usual grip and see what feels better. Yeah, that felt noticeably better than that first set. So I'd say that one of the biggest contributing factors was the change in grip. So seeing as I matched reps on that second set to what I got last week, it leads me to believe that it's less of a fatigue matter and more of a change in execution, change in technique matter. Because like I just said before, my grip width was probably an inch in from what it normally is on that first set. Whereas that second set, I just kept my usual grip width. And I was able to match what I got last week despite being more fatigued from that first set being performed with a different setup basically. So I don't think I'll reduce volume, I'll just stay consistent and try and improve sleep. But the funny thing is, when you're adjusting your technique to kind of, I guess, bias or favor more triceps or more chest in a press, like for example, a bench press, Smith press, whatever it is you do in any kind of press, a slightly narrower grip is going to yield more upper recruitment, especially if there's a bit of an inclining bench like I've got here. But there's a point of diminishing returns. Just because a closer grip doesn't mean that if you go even closer, it's going to be more chest. There's going to be a point where it starts becoming detrimental to your ability to execute the movement. And that's kind of what happened to me on that first set. I took it in too narrow, and it was to the point where I couldn't even really feel like my chest was being recruited or used, leveraged to its fullest potential in that first set. I think that's the big reason why I had a reduction in force output and reduction in strength on the set number one. So yeah, just because a technique adjustment or change might be favorable for shifting the bias towards a certain muscle group doesn't mean that you can just keep running with that kind of change and just take it to the extreme. There's a Goldilocks zone for everything. That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, me and Moses working. Yeah, me and Moses working. Thank you, Fabio. Yeah, you can watch the post. Team of Binder. Leo Bangin. Yeah, me and Moses working. Chico down. Yeah, me and working for this. Me and Fabio. Yeah, you can watch the post. Team of Binder. Oh my God, Tyler.
Yeah. Now, a little bit of a tip for you if you do struggle to feel your lats when you're training your back. What I like to focus on, and what I find helps a lot, is just really focusing on gripping, obviously with your entire hand, all of your fingers, but more so with your ring finger and your little finger. If you grip a little bit firmer through those fingers, through those indexes, you'll get a lot more lat. I can almost guarantee it. I'd be really surprised if you don't. Now, when it comes to any machine, one thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is keeping the settings consistent. This is a big red flag that I see in a lot of people's training. And it's simply due to the fact that you can't measure what you're not tracking. And sure, you might be tracking the weight that you're adding on the machine or adding to the bar over time. But just because the weight's increasing over time doesn't necessarily mean that you're progressing, that you're even getting stronger, but especially not that you're building muscle, because you need to be accounting for and controlling all external variables aside from that one variable being load, which should be the only changing variable over time in your lifting. If your machine settings are changing week to week because you're not keeping tabs on that, if your tempo is changing, say you're sloppy one week, you're strict the next, all that sort of stuff adds up. And if you're doing all of that, that cumulative effect basically just blows any level of reliability of your progression on that movement or that machine completely out of the water. It doesn't matter that you added 25 pounds to that machine over, say, the course of the last 4 weeks. If your technique was getting sloppier and sloppier week after week, you didn't add 25 pounds. You just got shitter at doing the movement. And so it's not a good measure or a good proxy for gauging whether you're progressing, building muscle, or just getting stronger in general, like I said. What you want to do is keep the machine settings consistent, keep your grip width consistent on barbells, keep all that consistent, the bar speed on the way down. If you pause, keep the pause in there. If you don't pause, expect to be able to lift a little bit more weight. It's not progress, it's just making the movement easier. So keep that in mind. It's really, really important, I think. Because if you want to know whether you're building muscle or not, keep all those variables controlled for and accounted for outside of load being the only variable changing over time in your training, and then ensure that you are increasing in body weight by no more than, say, 1 or 2% per month if you're an absolute beginner. But 1% per month usually is good for most people. And for someone who's 200 pounds, that's literally 2 pounds a month. So if you're seeing that kind of gradual, slow, linear pace in scale weight over time and you are genuinely progressing on your lifts, then you're building muscle. If not, it's hard to tell. I'm going to go neutral grip on this one and single arm. There we go, all done.
Post-workout meal, and then it's time to dive into work. I've already taken my cognitive enhancement stack, that's what I like to call it, 200 milligrams of L-theanine, 10 milligrams of methylene blue, and 300 milligrams of NMN, and then I'll wash that down with a coffee which I've half drank. So yeah, half demolished coffee, brain stack taken, digestive enzymes taken, berberine taken, and now it's time to eat and then work. Oh, there we have it. Showered, shaved, ready to chow down on this post-workout meal and then dive into Friday check-ins. A couple of people are actually prepping at the moment, so let's just say that the visual differences on a week-to-week basis are starting to become more and more apparent. So yeah, a couple of people on Friday check-in day are prepping at the moment. Rico in particular is looking really, really good, so I'm keen to see how it all comes together. No doubt it will come together perfectly because he just executes the plan to an absolute T, which just makes my job 100 times easier, I'll say that much. But yeah, time to do that. Also, if you are looking for coaching, link down in the description of the video. So yeah, shoot an inquiry through if you're interested and we can see if we're a good fit. And if we are, we can get the ball rolling. But I'm gonna wrap the video up here and yeah, that's pretty much it.